Over the weekend, I went to the CryptoPunk meetup held at Beeple Studios. For the uninitiated, the CryptoPunk meetup was a two-part event taking part in Charleston, South Carolina, where you guys know me from. And it was to celebrate CryptoPunks, essentially. The first part of the day had a series of conversations with people, culminating in a conversation with the Lover Labs founders, talking about how they got started with CryptoPunks. I just wanted today to talk about maybe a few things I took away from that segment of the CryptoPunks meetup. Something that I think was really interesting considering the people who were being interviewed is that most of them were people who had claimed the punks when they were free, when they had come out. There's something potentially special about just leaning into a thing you might believe in, even if you don't think it's going to work. I think that's where the real magic happens. I think a lot of us get really caught up in external perception, and it can cause a bit of trouble. I think, too, on that idea of external perception, you know, some people look at owning a punk as like the I made it, the status symbol. I always say that the day I buy a CryptoPunk, it's like the equivalent of me getting a Jesus piece. I have no use for it, you know, but it's just a thing you get. I think when you can just lean into something you like, and if you and other people think it's cool, there's an opportunity for it to grow a bit further. Maybe other people can understand it, see what it is. I really want to see more people just lean into what they believe in as opposed to what the consensus is, or especially in Web3 and NFTs, what's making money right now. I don't think that something making money is an actual indicator that the thing is cool. There's so many external forces that can play into the success of a project. And if something being cool or something being desired by others is strictly the thing that drives price, I'm not so sure I believe that. Something else I thought was interesting was how a lot of the folks were talking about how quiet and how slow the growth was of CryptoPunks, of the Discord, and how that was okay. Like, you know, a couple people are chatting, so let's just keep going. A couple people are chatting, let's just keep going. Oh, there's like 10 people in here, that's fine. 2 or 3 messages a week, that's fine. I think the last bull market really got everyone into this idea that things need to happen faster than they do. I think a lot about how every time D-Gods does something, Frank's like, we fucked up. I'm like, you fucked up? It's been like 3 days. Like, you really didn't even give it time for people to know if it fucked up or not. This is a Frank D-God Stan account, so I definitely am watching how he receives everything. I think the speed at which people are willing to write something off in Web3 is something that should be ignored a bit. I think you should just focus on the thing you're doing. And if you're doing a good thing, people will circle back to it when they realize it's a good thing. That's not to say that the community is always wrong, but are they always right? I don't know. Just started with me talking about slow growth. Just take your time, do the thing you want to do. That's how I feel. That's what I felt from them, talking about the growth of punks, saying, oh, well, I'm hoping just to make $10 this week. I'm hoping to make $30 this week, like off of selling CryptoPunks. It's crazy to think about in 2023. The other thing I think that's been on my mind around that is how remaining curious paid off. I don't think a lot of people knew what they were getting or what they were getting into. They definitely couldn't have forecasted what it would have become. And I think that remaining curious and leaning into your curiosity is valuable. And I hope that more people do that as time goes on. I think we get really caught up in like the buzzwords, innovation, disruption, unlearning, relearning. It's not that these things are false, it's that I think people aren't doing the things because they're not actually being truly curious about what they're making. They're being curious about if the thing works or not. Does it succeed? I think having curiosity about what the thing is, not how the thing performs, is going to be really helpful in the future. In the evening of the meetup, people just showed up to chat, listen to music. I'm sure people were hoping that people would airdrop some sort of NFT to everyone. There was a POAP, I did get that. And it's interesting how many different types of people showed up around this single concept, this single project. I often talk about like culture and what aspects of culture people are probably buying into. But when you look at, the guy who wants to put on the clown hair or the clown nose and the face mask and all that shit, and then the guy who just is, wearing a regular pair of fucking Levi's jeans, all in the same room around the same concept, you start to ask yourself what the through line is. I think it's interesting that you can create a project that speaks to different types of people. Sometimes it's that wonderful, intangible thought that is really what connects people, not so much the finances, not so much how much something costs to get, or even the colorway, right? There are people who love certain things because of how it makes them feel, or people who love certain things because of what it represents, or it's something aspirational, and that doesn't necessarily mean price. And so it's been interesting to watch and think about all of those different looks, people from all different backgrounds, and there were like maybe a dozen Black people there, but let's call it different backgrounds. People from different financial backgrounds, people from different parts of the world, people from, all sorts of walks of life showing up in one place around this one project, around this one subculture of a fucking subculture of a subculture. And trying to find those through lines and think about what actually connected all these people and put all of them in the same room at the same time is an interesting thought. I don't have an answer. If I had to answer, I think a lot of people think that CryptoPunks represents what Web3 is, what Web3 can be, and that's cool. That's exciting. I think it's cool that someone who hates the artwork but loves the concept can be in the same room as someone who hates the concept and loves the artwork. I think creating projects that are a little bit more than one thing makes sense, and focusing less on the art and on how much it costs and focusing more on what it means. I enjoyed myself. I wish that everyone there could have seen the gallery side. Better luck next time, everyone. I live here, so I've been there before, and I'll be there again. Yeah, I guess that's it. You guys have a great day. There's a dog barking earlier. The birds are going crazy. Crickets are out here. It's October. You guys have fun?